Hi, I'm back. I bought microphones, but they didn't fit my phone hole, if you will. I wanted to talk about Disney. Well, first of all, my credentials are I watch probably all of the Disney princess movies about 20 times. No shade to Disney at all, but I will say like our generation, like the 2000 to 2010 little group grew up like on Disney, right? Like on all the Disney princess movies, like that, if you are a young girl, that is where it is at. And Disney princesses in general being like rescued by somebody, right? Like that's a big, and a lot of like feminists will come on, and be like, hey, why is this young woman, saved by a guy every time, right? And there's a few movies like Brave, like I just feel like it's saved by a guy. I know Merida doesn't have a guy, and I think that's great, and I love it. It's just about her relationship with her mother. But that's just like a whole different topic, right? Just portrayed and really romanticized this story of soulmates, if you will. Just love. Like, oh, you're supposed to like see someone from across the room. Know it's he's the one or she's the one, and just you guys talk to each other, and then a week later you're married, and that's how it is in a lot of the Disney princess movies. They're literally married like a few days without knowing each other. Like it's crazy, but even like if that were to happen in real life, you'll hear like all of these stories about falling in love and how it's not difficult at all, and if you're with the right person there's no challenges. And it sucks because like growing up, like you're supposed to just you get this belief built into you that the right one will come along and it'll be great. Like it won't be difficult, he won't have any flaws, you know what I mean? He's gonna be this perfect person, and everything's gonna be happily and lovely, and there won't be any challenges, and as long as you're with that person you'll be happy forever. And I just I don't think that's true. I think that's completely false. I mean, yes, there will be. I completely agree that if you find your soulmate, and I think your soulmate isn't always your romantic partner. I mean, I guess yeah, like a version your of your true love romantic partner can be classified as your soulmate. I get that, but I think your soulmate can also be your best friend, maybe even your sister. I think they're very much different versions of soulmates. As a platonic version, 1,000%, referring to soulmate in the romantic form, that you find that person, your soulmate, and once you're with them, you're never sad, you're happy, you know what I mean? And I do believe that once you find that person, you are happy. Like, I get that. Not even fail to mention, just I just wish it wasn't so romanticized. It's not even a fail to mention kind of thing, just they would show a little bit more like it's not gonna be rainbows and butterflies the entire time, you know what I mean? Like there will be ups and downs. He will have flaws. He will have flaws. And you'll have flaws too. Don't get me wrong, we all have flaws. It's portrayed as the most perfect, picture perfect straight line kind of thing. And that's like I just feel like that leads all of these young girls on. Relationships in general, it takes, both of you have flaws, and it does take challenges. Even if it is this picture perfect thing, you hear like older people talk about how they've been married for 30 years, and it's no picnic, if you will. There will be things you have to work through. There will be times where you reconsider. And I just wish that people will talk about a little bit more just how flawed is too flawed. You know what I'm talking about? Like, because I know every person will have points in their relationship where they're like, whew, I don't know about this, you know what I mean? Like, I love this person so much, but he does this, or and it makes me feel like that, like, da-da-da-da-da. I just wish, like, it was, like, classified, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if he's hitting you, and is incredibly mentally and physically abusive, that's when you kind of clicks that you're like, no, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? But not just romantic relationships, but also platonic relationships, or even family relationships, just relationships in general. When they're not perfect, I'm like, why? Like, I just find myself, and I really think it's because of this damn Disney thing. Like, friendships in Disney, like, it's just romanticized so much, and it's just not true. It's just not how it is in real life, and that's so frustrating. And there will be points where I'll be like, okay, like, here's this flaw. Is this, like, an okay flaw? Like, is this okay for me? Like, and I just feel like everyone has to, I feel like that's what we all do in relationships, right? Like, I know this person is flawed, but that's kind of what makes you love somebody, right? Accepting their flaws. But there will be a point where this person is so flawed, they are just in such a bad place that this isn't good for me anymore. This is impacting me, right? And that's when I, like, the example is, like, the mentally and physically, like, abusive kind of thing. Like, if this person is, you know, the only example I can really conjure up here is your romantic partner is hitting you. That's where I'm at. Or any partner, any relationship is mentally abusing you. And that's when you're just like, okay, these person's flaws I can't attain anymore. Like, it's just too much. And I don't even know where I was going with this. Like, here's this flaw. I still love this person, but is this, like, what I want in a relationship? Like, do I want to keep on pursuing this relationship, keep on building off of it, and not necessarily ignoring the flaws, but just pursuing and, like, building, you know what I mean? Or, because a lot of the times, some people's flaws will be early signals, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like, he did that made me kind of uncomfortable, but, you know what, it's probably fine. And then a few weeks later, ooh, he did something else again. I don't like that. Like, and that's where, obviously, healthy communication comes in. And then a few months later, it's like, ooh, he's like this. That's why all these things were coming out in the first, like, few weeks. Like, that's why all of that happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, just finally, like, realizing the kind of person they are and being like, oh, so that wasn't a coincidence. Like, those weren't, like, flaws. Like, that was a clear signal of the kind of person you are. Doing something, like, I'm anxious about a lot of the times, like, oh, is this a flaw that I love them anyway and I'm gonna accept and I'm gonna build off of it, or is this a signal, like, it's a warning, like, of this, like, person? And a lot of the times it's just me overthinking it, and it's not any kind of warning at all, and it's just something about this person, right? Obviously, when something happens, like, see if it happens again, you know what I mean? Like, after healthily communicating it. And I guess that's up to you to decide. And I don't know, that's kind of led into those kind of things. And circling back to Disney here, they don't do communication. Like, that's just not something they do. Like, it's just, the guy is just supposed to automatically know everything the girl wants, and the girl is just, like, the guy just shows up every time she needs saving, and it's this, like, crazy thing, and that's just not how it is at all. I feel like this is also what really romanticizes a lot of our relationships, and I feel like this just completely feeds into this delusional thing about how a relationship's supposed to be. Like, they're supposed to know what I want. This is, again, friendships, romantic relationships, family. Like, this, they're supposed to know this about me. Like, they're just supposed to know what I want. Like, we've only known each other for a few months, but they're just supposed to know this about me. Like, no. Like, no. They're not, they can't read your mind. And I feel like that's a lot of that can really go into, I don't believe that if he wanted to, he would. Or that if she wanted to, she would. Because there could be, I do think there are some situations where if you communicated this, if you're trying to hang out with somebody and they're just not cooperating at all, and it's like, if this person wanted to make the time for me, they would. You know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to hang out with someone, they're like, oh, another time. Like, oh, instead of like being like, okay, well, we can hang out like this day or this day, or like, I'm free next, you know what I mean? Like, just like trying to make that time for you. That's when I will accept the if he wanted to, he would. That I get. If they won't want to make the time for you, they will make the time for you. If they want to respond to you, they will respond to you, right? And unless obviously there's a medical emergency. But this just fantasizes the whole thing. My point to the if he wanted to, he would, I think that there could be somebody sitting in their bed waiting for someone to text them and being like, oh, if she wanted to text me, she would. And then there's the girl who's also sitting in her bed waiting for the guy to text her, and she's like, if he wanted to text me, he would text me. So now there's just two people facing the wall, right? Like, just not facing each other. That's how I imagine it. If two people are being like, if they wanted to, they would, that's unproductive. That doesn't get anywhere. That's just not healthy communication whatsoever. That doesn't do anything, right? That's just a lose-lose. That really feeds into the whole Disney logic about how we grew up and like the guy just expects to know what the girl wants and, you know, exceeds those expectations or just proceeds to go along, you know, and fulfill that. But in reality, like, you're not supposed to read each other's minds. That's just not how it is. Over time, once you build more and more, I mean, yes, you will the tiniest bit get used to each other and can kind of pick up on some of the things they like or some of the things that they want or like what they look for in your relationships. And I think that's great, but that's not the if he wanted to, he would. That's I think that's just an excuse for unhealthy communication. And that's just another thing that Disney kind of put out there. I feel like for all these young girls and boys, just it's not how it's supposed to be. I really don't think so. I am a firm believer in not being codependent on your partner, whether that's, again, romantic or platonic relationships. If you do not have that relationship any longer, you will be okay, right? Because you're not codependent on them. It is okay if they leave. One foot in, one foot out of the door. Not like that. I don't mean it like that. I think all your relationships you should 100%, 100% be 100% in or out, right? But there is a difference between 2 feet out the door, head leaning in, than independence, right? I just think codependency it's not healthy, and you need to be your own person, especially at our age. Everything that happens around us, our entire environment, shapes who we are. Whether we like it or not, it influences us. And we are a product of our environment. That's another thing that Disney kind of led us on to. And don't get me wrong, I love Disney. I love watching Disney movies and just being able to step into this fantasized, like, perfect, picture perfect, amazing life, if you will. But I think that just unhealthily led a lot of young girls on and still is doing that now. I just think it just set a tone of how everything's supposed to be in the future, and that's just not what life is. That's just not reality. And it sucks because I literally grew up on Disney, and that's just not reality. And I think the more we realize that, the better it will be. And it's okay. Of course, you're gonna have these not perfect relationships, but these good, vivid, like, relationships, and I think that's amazing. But no relationship is gonna be perfect. No person's gonna be perfect, and I think that's great. I think that's acceptable, because that's how when you're willing to accept other people's flaws. I just think that's an amazing, beautiful thing, right? And it's healthy too. You learn a lot about people just through your relationships. And that's all I have for you guys today.